Onions are an essential ingredient in kitchens worldwide, providing flavor and aroma to countless dishes across cultures. In the United States, onions are not only a staple in home cooking, but are also a significant agricultural product, with farmers harvesting a remarkable 8.9 billion pounds of onions annually. This vast quantity represents a huge agricultural endeavor, requiring careful planning, precision, and specialized techniques to grow, harvest, and distribute onions efficiently. In this video, we will explore how American farmers manage to harvest 8.9 billion pounds of onions every year, examining the processes, technologies, and challenges involved in onion farming. The importance of onions in U.S. agriculture. Onions, scientifically known as Allium cepa, are grown extensively across the U.S. for both domestic consumption and international export. They are grown in all 50 states, but the primary production regions are found in California, Oregon, Washington, and the Midwest, with specific areas in Texas and Idaho contributing significantly as well. The United States is one of the largest onion producers globally, and American farmers supply both fresh and processed onions to the global market. The onion industry is valuable not only because of the sheer volume of onions produced, but also because of the wide variety of products derived from onions. These include fresh onions, onion powder, onion flakes, onion oil, and pickled onions, all of which play a role in both consumer households and the food processing industry. In terms of total volume, the U.S. is one of the largest producers of onions worldwide, with nearly 8.9 billion pounds being harvested annually. This amount is used to meet both fresh and processed market demands, ensuring that onions are a consistent part of both domestic and international food supply chains. Onion varieties, different types for different uses. Onions are versatile vegetables grown in several varieties, each suited to different culinary uses. The primary onion types cultivated in the U.S. include yellow onions, red onions. These varieties vary in flavor, color, and culinary applications, which in turn influences how they are grown and harvested. Yellow onions, the most common variety grown in the U.S. Yellow onions are the go-to choice for cooking due to their well-rounded flavor and ability to caramelize well. They are primarily used in cooking and are sold in large quantities, both fresh and processed. Red onions. These onions are known for their striking red skin and milder flavor compared to yellow onions. They are often used raw in salads, sandwiches, and salsas, contributing both color and a slight sweetness. White onions. These onions have a sharper, more pungent flavor than yellow onions. They are popular in Mexican cuisine and are also used fresh or in salsas, dips, and cooked dishes. Sweet onions, grown in specific regions, such as Georgia and Vidalia. Sweet onions have a lower sulfur content, resulting in a milder and sweeter flavor profile. These onions are often used in raw dishes, like salads, or caramelized in cooking. The U.S. onion industry primarily focuses on yellow onions due to their wide range of culinary uses and longer shelf life. However, the growing demand for red and white onions has led to an increase in their cultivation in select regions. These varieties are especially popular in fresh markets and are often marketed as premium onions, contributing to the variety and diversity of the onion harvest. Growing onions, the essential stages of cultivation. The process of growing onions is both intricate and labor-intensive, requiring careful attention to soil quality, weather, and proper planting practices. From seed to harvest, American onion farmers work through several key stages to ensure a healthy and successful crop. Soil preparation and planting. Onions thrive in well-drained, loose soil that allows their roots to grow deeply and evenly. Farmers start by preparing the soil, often incorporating organic matter such as compost or well-rotted manure to improve fertility and structure. The soil must also have a slightly acidic pH, typically between 6.0 and 6.8, to support optimal onion growth. Farmers often use a method called raised beds to cultivate onions, which helps with drainage and prevents waterlogging. In regions where rainfall can be inconsistent, irrigation systems such as drip irrigation are used to ensure that the onions receive a consistent amount of moisture throughout their growing cycle. Once the soil is ready, farmers plant onion seeds or onion sets, small bulbs in rows. In some regions, onions are grown directly from seed, while in others, onion sets are preferred because they mature faster. The spacing between rows and within rows is critical, as onions need room to grow without overcrowding, which can lead to disease and poor yields. Growing and maintaining the crop. Onions are typically planted in early spring and require a long growing season, ranging from 100 to 175 days, depending on the variety and local climate. During this time, farmers monitor the crop closely to ensure optimal growth conditions. Onion plants need consistent moisture, but they must not be overwatered, as excessive water can lead to root rot and fungal infections. Farmers often rely on precise irrigation systems to provide water directly to the roots, minimizing evaporation and runoff. Onions are also prone to a variety of pests and diseases, including thrips, aphids, and fungal infections like downy mildew. Integrated pest management (IPM) is a crucial strategy employed by onion farmers to minimize the use of chemical pesticides. This may involve introducing beneficial insects, using organic pesticides, and rotating crops to prevent the buildup of pests and diseases. Additionally, farmers must monitor the temperature throughout the growing season. Onions require warm temperatures during the day and cool temperatures at night. Too much heat can cause the bulbs to bolt or flower prematurely, reducing the quality and yield of the onions. Fertilization and weeding. Onions are heavy feeders, meaning they require significant amounts of nutrients to grow to full size. Farmers often apply fertilizers during the growing season, usually in the form of nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. These essential nutrients help promote healthy plant growth, strong root development, and large bulb formation. Weeding is another critical aspect of onion farming. Onions grow slowly and are not good at competing with weeds. Farmers often use mulch, hand weeding, or mechanical weeders to keep the growing area free from weeds, which can reduce yield and increase the risk of disease. Ripening and maturation. Onions are typically ready for harvest when the tops, the green stems, begin to yellow and fall over. This signals that the onion bulbs have reached maturity. Depending on the variety and weather conditions, onions may mature at different times, so farmers often harvest in several stages, allowing the onions to ripen at their own pace. Onions require a period of curing after they are harvested to ensure that they store well and retain their flavor. Curing involves drying the onions in a well-ventilated area, which helps reduce moisture content and thickens the skin, making them less prone to rot during storage. The harvesting process: how farmers collect 8.9 billion pounds of onions. Harvesting onions is a precise operation that requires careful timing and specialized equipment. Since onions are grown in large fields, especially in regions like California and Idaho, farmers rely on both manual labor and machinery to gather the crops efficiently. Mechanical harvesting. Most large-scale onion farms in the US rely on mechanical harvesters to collect the onions. These machines are designed to dig the onions out of the soil and separate them from the roots and leaves. The onions are then conveyed into bins or trucks, ready to be transported for further processing. The harvesting machines work by gently lifting the onions from the soil and ensuring that they are not bruised or damaged. After the onions are harvested, they are typically left in the field to cure for a short time before being transported to packing houses. Manual harvesting. In some regions or for certain varieties of onions, manual harvesting is still used, especially for premium onions or small farms. In this method, workers use specialized tools to pull the onions out of the soil, remove the tops, and sort the onions based on size and quality. This method is more labor-intensive but ensures that the onions are handled with care, especially for fresh market products. Sorting and grading. Once the onions are harvested, they undergo a sorting and grading process to ensure that only high-quality onions make it to the market. Onions are sorted based on size, color, and condition. Any onions that are damaged, diseased, or undersized are removed from the batch. At the grading stage, onions are typically divided into categories: small, medium, large, and extra large. These categories correspond to market preferences, with larger onions being sold at premium prices. Curing and storage. After sorting, onions undergo a curing process, where they are dried for several days in well-ventilated spaces. This helps to preserve the onions by reducing moisture and hardening their skins, which is essential for long-term storage. Once cured, onions are stored in cool, dry, and dark conditions to prevent sprouting or rot. Onions are stored in large bins or crates, which allow airflow to reduce the risk of disease. The onions are then packaged for distribution to retail markets, food processors, or exporters. Distribution and export. Getting 8.9 billion pounds of onions to the market. The distribution of onions from farm to table is a massive logistical operation. Onions are transported from farms to packing facilities, where they are further processed, packaged, and shipped to markets across the country and around the world. In the US, onions are distributed through a combination of local farmers markets, grocery stores, wholesalers, and food processing plants. Onions are typically shipped by truck, rail, or cargo ship depending on their destination. For international export, onions are often shipped in refrigerated containers to maintain their quality during transit. The U.S. onion export market is significant, with major export destinations including Canada, Mexico, and parts of Europe. The demand for onions in international markets has been steadily increasing, driven by the popularity of onions in global cuisines, from Indian curries to European sauces and Latin American dishes. Challenges in onion farming. Despite the extensive process and highly efficient systems involved in onion farming, there are numerous challenges that farmers must contend with. These challenges range from weather-related issues to labor shortages, pest management, and market fluctuations. Weather and climate challenges. Weather plays a major role in onion farming. Onions are highly sensitive to temperature and moisture fluctuations, which can impact growth and yield. Droughts, excessive rainfall, and temperature extremes can lead to poor harvests and financial losses for farmers. With climate change causing unpredictable weather patterns, farmers must adapt their practices to ensure their crops thrive. Labor shortages. Onion harvesting is labor-intensive, and the U.S. farming industry is facing a shortage of workers. Many onion farms rely on migrant labor to harvest their crops, but tightening immigration laws and labor shortages have made it more difficult for farmers to secure sufficient labor. This has led to increased labor costs and delays in harvest, which can affect the overall yield. Pests and diseases. Pests such as thrips, onion maggots, and aphids can damage onion crops, while diseases like downy mildew, white rot, and neck rot can reduce the quality and yield of onions. Integrated pest management practices, including crop rotation, pesticide application, and the use of resistant onion varieties, are employed to mitigate these risks. Harvesting 8.9 billion pounds of onions every year is no small feat. American onion farmers rely on a combination of innovative farming techniques, sophisticated machinery, and a skilled workforce to ensure the success of their crops. The process from planting to harvest, sorting, and distribution involves meticulous planning and attention to detail. Despite the challenges they face, American onion farmers continue to play a pivotal role in feeding both the domestic population and the international market. The future of onion farming in the U.S. will depend on continued innovation, adaptability to climate change, and the ability to meet the demands of an ever-growing global population.